Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to talk a bit about the labour market statistics which have been released in the last few minutes. The figures, obviously, which you'll have seen, show a strong performance in the Scottish economy. That, as you may remember, in the last 3-month period, famously, the 24 out of the 25,000 jobs created across the United Kingdom were created in Scotland. This last 3 months, the figures are even more dramatic. There's 23,000 new jobs created in Scotland compared to a decline of 92,000 in the rest of the United Kingdom. We're now in a situation where unemployment is strongly higher, almost 1% higher in Scotland than it is across the UK. Unemployment is now significantly lower, and economic activity is also significantly lower. Now, these are very strong, very powerful figures indeed, and they give an underlying picture of great resilience in the Scottish economy. Looking beyond the statistics, one or two things emerge. Our information, our understanding, our analysis suggests that in the last year, the job creation in the private sector in Scotland has been twice the rate of the job losses which have been inevitable in the public sector, that the economy and job growth is now broadly based across the private sector in Scotland, with particular encouraging signs in the manufacturing sector. And therefore, what these figures suggest is that much of the work that's been done by this government has proved to be highly successful, even in the most difficult and challenging economic circumstances. What I wanted to suggest was, I don't want to see this significant jobs recovery in Scotland blown off course by policies being pursued or not pursued by the United Kingdom Chancellor, and there is an obvious danger of that. If you remember, the ingredients are repeated in the launch of the new economic strategy on Monday, of what we've been attempting to do in the Scottish economy in terms of encouraging recovery has been based on a threefold platform. One, the acceleration of capital investment in the economy, and there's significant evidence that that's been extremely beneficial in Scotland compared to the rest of the UK. Secondly, a constant pressure to increase the access to finance to the small and medium-sized business sector. The establishment of the Scottish Investment Bank to help that process, although not as a replacement for private finance, but to enable fast-growing companies to have access to finance. And thirdly, the attempt in the most difficult and challenging economic environment to underline the importance of economic security through the no compulsory redundancy policy, through the policy of the social wage, that's to try to give people protection against cost pressures in the economy, on prescription charges, on council tax, and so on and so forth. Now, I would submit that each of these three legs of the Scottish economic strategy are absolutely necessary in a plan B for the United Kingdom economy. For example, the acceleration of capital investment is extremely effective in Scotland. Projects like the M74, the M80, and the projects to come. But obviously we face a 40% decline in the capital investment coming from the United Kingdom Treasury at the present moment. Mr Swinney has been improvising in order to compensate for this decline through the non-profit distribution programme, which we are confident will finance projects like the Aberdeen peripheral route, for example. But nonetheless, what we need is not a decline in capital investment. What we need is an expansion of capital investment. Now, there have been some rumours. I hope these rumours are true. There's a rethink taking place in the Treasury at the present moment. Well, let's put it this way. In my former constituency of Banffin-Buchan, Sang's lemonade factory produced a drink to which I'm partial to. It was a low-calorie, soft fruit drink. I think 1 calorie per 100 millilitres, if I remember correctly, and it's called Mac B. I would commend Mac B to the Chancellor of the Exchequer. That is to say, to look at the evidence, and the evidence is now overwhelming, of the success of a Plan B in Scotland over the last year or two, and apply that across the United Kingdom. Secondly, in terms of access to finance, it is absolutely critical and the evidence again underlies that against the background of a decline and contraction of public sector employment, the only major employment source is the small and medium-sized business sector. That can dominate employment growth, showing significant signs of improvement in Scotland. That improvement can only be sustained if these companies have access to finance. And thirdly, the economics of security against an uncertain economic and indeed international environment. With that in mind, the policies we are pursuing in terms of no compulsory redundancies in the public sector are absolutely vital in terms of economic confidence. Doesn't mean the public sector is not contracting, because it is, but it does mean that those within the public sector have the security that their jobs are secure, and that job losses will be dictated by natural wastage and transfers and other matters. These are policies which are proving to be successful. That plan MACB in Scotland is working, and I commend it to the Chancellor of the Exchequer. The danger for us, obviously, is that without a change of course at Westminster, the Scottish economic recovery might be blown off course, and it would be disappointing. It would be hugely negative, given the efforts that have been made by companies, by government, by unions, by employers, by a range of people in Scottish society to get the economy moving, if we were to put that recovery now at risk. Finally, it was said last month that when the overall statistics on employment growth showed the increase of 24,000 in Scotland against the 25,000 increase across the United Kingdom, that we should remember that there were different patterns across the regions of England, for example. In these statistics, Scotland is the only place in these islands, the only nation, the only region of England as carried in the statistics. All comparisons of the region of England, comparisons of other nations in these islands, that Scotland is the only place where unemployment is falling over the last 3 months. Therefore, there must, by definition, be something distinctive happening in our economy, which is not happening in economies elsewhere in these islands. And therefore, Plan MACB has a great deal to be said for it.